2016 was an extraordinary year of upsetting and cataclysmic world events.
And then there was 2017. Outright. Creative reactions to uncertain times. That's right, with a W.
Alt-right, W-R-I-T-E.
The title's supposed to be challenging. Writers are alternative thinkers.
I think a lot of writers and artists were feeling helpless and wanting to do something but not being quite sure what we could do.
A lot of people got into politics last year, joined political parties, went on protests, supported charities.
What writers do is write. This is how we understand and process the world and explain it to ourselves and to others. And I write for children.
Well, you know, we're in quite a unique position in that our work is seen by, some of us are lucky enough to have it seen by millions or thousands. And in some small way, if we can bring about change through our writings or through our illustrations, I think it's really important. We are in a unique position, more so than a lot of other people. We have access to communicating with people, which is important.
In politics or in marketing, we talk about creating the narrative. There's a very bleak and dystopian narrative in the world right now, a narrative of building walls and of seeing strangers as invaders.
It's basically saying there's another narrative in this world of neoliberalism and the exclusion of migrants and war, and this is what we as writers are trying to explore.
It's very hard to watch refugees basically just trying to save their lives or the lives of their families and to turn away from that. I think it's not hard to imagine that in different circumstances that could be any one of us. And I wanted to do something to help, and this is a small thing I can do.
Of course, it's not all bleak. Some good things have been happening as well, and we want to remind people of those. But there are some rather dark pieces in the collection because they are the authentic response to living in dark times.
I think artists tend to have more empathy. I think you can't write good characters without it. So if you could write something that might encourage someone to think about the way they behave and maybe deepen their levels of empathy, I think you have to try.
Of course, we've been here before, both in terms of world events and our responses to them. Rhiannon and I produced an anthology in 2003 called Lines in the Sand, which was a collection of new writings and illustrations inspired by the imminent invasion of Iraq.
Whatever I write, I want to make a difference. I want to educate or comfort or inspire, revolutionise maybe, I don't know. If only we could make that much difference.
Right, yeah, the pen hopefully is mightier than the sword. And it's really important that you, whatever your job is, whatever your profession is, if you in some small way can make a mark on this whole thing of undermining civil liberties and, you know, human rights. It's so important that, because if you feel helpless, there is a way of doing it, even in your own small way. And if we all do it together, then it becomes a force to be reckoned with.
Short stories of around 1,000 words long, poems and illustrations.
The writers and artists are donating their work.
And all the profits will go to UNHCR for their work with refugees.
These are people in desperate conditions that need empathy and need support and need a future from some of the richest countries in the world. And that is why I think the story is incredibly, not the story, the collection is incredibly important.
We need to raise money for the production of this book, and that's where the crowdfunding comes in. We really want to produce this book, and we hope that people are going to want to buy it too.
For me, it's it's a sign that authors and illustrators have given up their time to help in some small way to contribute towards this, and this is important.
We have some fantastic contributors lined up for this book, and some have already sent us their stories and poems. We have Jackie Kay, Mike Rosen, Jonathan Mayhew, Celia Rees, Linda Newbury, Alan Gibbons, many excellent and award-winning writers. And the illustrators we have, we're pretty international on that. We've got Doug Cushman, Jeff Perks, Ruta Brida from Latvia, Margaret Chamberlain, Jane Ray, many wonderful illustrators too. All our contributors are donating their work, whether writers or artists, and the Greystones Press will be producing the book. It will be a paperback at £9.99, and there will be a digital version at £4.99, and all the profits will go to charity.
But the fake news isn't the stuff that Donald Trump talks about. It is the exclusion of the stories of the poor, the excluded, the desperate, looking for a better life. I think we have to talk about those stories. That's what alt-right is all about.
This isn't history or a news documentary. It's a story that writers and illustrators are telling to make sense of the world. We haven't really liked the stories that the news has been telling us of late, and so we're going to try and tell a better story.